What's happening, SteelerNation? Welcome. Sorry for the noise right there, guys. I'm adjusting my microphone. Still got to get me another little holder here for my mic. It's broken a little bit, as it sits on the stand. So I got to get another one of these. I'll show you guys. Look, I keep it real with y'all. One of these. This thing is broken. Look at this. I have a zip tie on it. Bootleg, right? But hey, it still works. So maybe I'll order another one tonight. I keep forgetting to do it, and being that the mic still works, I totally forget about this thing until I sit down and do a video. But anyway, y'all know I keep it 1,000 with y'all. What's poppin'? What's happening, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode, edition, whatever you want to call it, of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel Basement, aka the virtual Heinz Field. What's the deal? Speaking of that, there's one thing that we didn't talk about. AR2, he mentioned that he wants to keep the Heinz Field name, but we got to keep our eyes on that. We haven't heard an official word yet, unless I missed it. So if I did, you guys could let me know. We haven't heard an official word on the name, because that contract is set to expire. So will we be starting the season in Heinz Field? We shall see. But let's go ahead and say hello to the early commenters. And as soon as we do that, I'll start my timer and we'll get right to it. What up to Brent Fox? Thank you. Thank you again for being a, what I like to call extended family member. You are an actual member of the channel. And I wanted to read your comment, actually, because I saw it earlier, man, when I did the write-up. He says, be prepared, Sim. I'm ranting today. Promise to keep it clean, though. It's all good. I already saw some of your comment on my video from yesterday. He's not a fan of Mitch Trubisky, so I look forward to hearing all of you guys' comments. Mr. Winningham, good evening, sir. How you doing? Jim Iman, Rajon 39, Charlie Brown, Joshua Shields, my good brother Y Diggy, another extended member of the family. Trey or Dr. Trey, Steeler Lee, Joshua Shields, which I already said, but I read your name again, so you must be special. BMK, Brother Mark 1992, Miss Sade. What's going on, Sade? Hello, Miss Lady. Thank you for coming through and hanging out with us tonight. And I'm going to skip a few names here, and we're going to address another lovely lady. What's up, Destiny? Thank you, Miss Lady, for coming through and hanging out with us. Steelers Freak. Who else we got? Black Thanos. Love that name right there. I think I said that to you before. Brian Williams in the green TV. Hello, Miss Odessa. Miss Odessa in the building tonight as well. Hello, Miss Lady. Thank you for coming and hanging out with us. We always appreciate you, lovely ladies. Y'all know that. But I'm never going to stop giving you all your special praise. Daredevil. Billy Dawes. I don't know why I saw a K there. Billy Dawes, Jay Waller, Vista Light, my good buddy, Rel Fax is in the building. Cutboy 412. Who else we got up in here? Probably can end it right about there. I see my partner in crime in here too, but he told me many moons ago, ain't no need to shout him. What am I shouting him out for? And we talk all day long anyway. But what's up, partner in crime? He knows who he is. Hello, Miss Lanisha, another lady of the chat. The ladies are in here early tonight. And speaking of that, I think the ladies will be coming on soon. I will give you guys that information later in the show, but I got some information from Miss Debbie about when the ladies shall return. So I'll give you guys that information a little bit later. And the last one here, Henry Manuel. What's going on, Henry? Appreciate you coming through as well. Oh, Bettsburg. Let's say what's up to Bettsburg also. All right, man, let's jump into it. I got a lot going on, a lot to get into. There's our timer, so let's get to it. Phone calls, of course, will be following the many topics that I have. And look at this, I'm not on my grind here, guys. I don't have my Google Doc up. Hold on, let me pull it up. My bad. I had it on my other computer. Google Docs is a beautiful thing because it just travels from browser to browser, regardless of what computer you're on, so you don't lose your stuff. All right, so what we're going to primarily talk about tonight, I know, the big stuff. Free agency so far. That's going to be the meat and potatoes. But also we'll talk about a little bit more. The compensatory pick. We'll talk a little bit about the guys who've been tendered already. We'll talk about the guys that we know of that's been re-signed already. And I'm leaning on you guys to fill in the blanks. I may miss a couple guys here and there. And then we'll also talk about the free agents. We got 4 and a possible. The free agents are sounding like a spades game for you guys who play spades out there. You know, we got 4 and a possible, right? So I'll hit on the possible first, and then we'll go into the signees. Let me write the name here so I don't forget. Let's see. I love doing this in real time with y'all, man. Y'all know me. I'm one of those people that don't really care about edits. When it's live, it's live. And again, I think that's part of what you guys appreciate about me. I'm always real. Like, y'all hear me clickety-clacking and fumbling words and all that. And I think that adds to it. That adds to the experience. It kind of feels like we all are here live together. So y'all know I do all that kind of stuff, and I don't mind it. So, all right, first thing we're going to talk about, man, is the Steelers were awarded. And let me stop myself and say this. I always have to say this to the new viewers. You're going to see me looking like this from time to time because I'm basically reading off of a screen that I have right here. And this is the screen where I see you guys as well. So I pride myself on talking to you guys, kind of looking at you so you feel like we're there together. But from time to time, I'm looking over here because I'm reading. All right, just want to give you guys that heads up. So the Steelers were awarded a 4th round compensatory pick. It will be the 138th overall pick. And this all comes from the formula that is basically free agent losses, Bud Dupree, Matt Filer, Mike Hilton, and free agent additions last season, Joe Haig, Akello Witherspoon. And however that formula works, listen, I have no idea. I never know how it works and doesn't work. I just know it generally starts from 3rd round and above. However it panned out, the Steelers ended up with a 4th. From what I'm hearing, I think, Dupree's lack of play, I guess, due to some injury and stuff like that may have affected us not getting a higher pick, as well as I think it might have had a little bit to do with, the amount of time that Joe Haig actually played. I don't know. Again, I don't know the formulas. The only thing I do know, it's reported right now that the Steelers were awarded a 4th round pick, and hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. You never know. That 4th round pick might be used for something. Huh? It might be used for something. I'm going to get into that tonight too, but really quick, man, here y'all go firing. Y'all firing shots early. We got donations already, so let's say round of applause to Sean Manahan and Kev So Fun. Round of applause to both of you lovely gentlemen. Sean Manahan first, he says, with the signings, we have already made who would be your pick at 20? Woo, that is a tough one, man. I'm going to be honest and say I can't call it, but stay tuned. A little bit later, I'm going to go into some possible situations that will definitely affect the number 20 overall pick. But I don't know. I really can't call it right now because of the moves that's been made. Remember when I said we got to keep our eyes on free agency? That's always important, especially this season where we've had money to spend. And I've been saying, and some of you guys have been saying the same thing, that's really going to determine with the draft, what happens with the draft. That's every year. You can say that every year, but this year in particular, 2 main factors. The Steelers, prior to a couple days ago, did not have a quarterback that they expect to be the starter or that they knew would probably be a starter, right? As well as they had money. Those are 2 things a lot of us haven't seen in a very long time. So this free agency really is going to dictate and affect what the Steelers will do, how they will approach the draft, and I'm definitely going to get into that. That's going to be one of my last points before I open it up for calls. But thank you for the donation again, Sean. Kev So Fun says, Sim, this is still a Slayer. Got a new account. The old one was having problems. How do you think we are doing so far, and what do you think about our O-line picks. Appreciate that. Appreciate you identifying yourself, Steelers Slayer. Actually, I like that, Kev. So fun. I like that name. That name is tight. I'm going to talk about it in a minute, but I'll just give you a preview. I don't know so much about both guys. I am a little more familiar with James Daniel than I am Mason Cole. However, I do remember that Mason Cole was in that game where Dalvin Cook rushed for well over, what was it, 200 yards or so? I don't know. He had something close to that. Now, granted, we know we didn't have our main horses up front, but still, that team ran the football. I don't know how successful they were all year, but I'll be honest in saying I love this time of the year because now I do this every time. When we sign free agents, I go watch a few games of those guys so I can get my own opinion of who they are and who they're not, as well as I start now as free agency starts officially tomorrow, a week or so out, after you feel like the teams have made the bulk of their signings. Now I start looking at positions in college that I think we attack. So this is my favorite time of the year. Like I told you guys, Kenyon is a little more, well-versed in scouting. He's doing it way early. He's got me doing it a little bit. But, my main piece of it as far as how I do it, which is more appropriate for my style, is when free agency happens and I see what pieces we picked up, I look at those free agents, unless it's somebody well known. But then I start saying, okay, I think this is where we're going to go in the draft, and I start looking at those players. So with that being said, I do got to watch a little more film for sure on both Daniels and Cole. But either way, listen, I'm ecstatic by what they're doing. And like I said, I'll get to it here in a moment. So yeah, there you have it, guys, as far as a compensatory pick. And we can move on to the next topic, which is tendered players. So these are the guys who the Steelers have put a, original round tender on them. Of course, we knew that was going to happen with Dwayne Haskins. So, a team will have to basically give us first round compensation or we can match the tender or what have you. But more than likely, Dwayne Haskins will be back with the Steelers because I don't think we're going to get that first round. Smart for the Steelers because it's a low cost risk for them to do that. And hey, if somebody mess around and gives you a first round pick, it ain't going to happen. But if it did, whoa, Nelly, right? Oh, that's an old school saying right there, man. But yeah, other than that, I saw that J.C. Heisenhauer as well has a tender on him. I didn't get the details on that one, and I don't recall whether or not J.C. was, hold on, actually, I probably can find out, guys. Give me 2 seconds. I don't know if he was a draft pick by anybody. I want to say he was a free agent. Let me see. So they said Steelers have tendered J.C. Heisenhauer as an exclusive rights free agent. It says here, should be done tendering the restricted and exclusive rights free agents they wish to retain this offseason. According to a source, the team has issued a 1-year exclusive rights tender to J.C. Heisenhauer. The amount is $895,000. I'd like to have that, right? But that's very cheap in the NFL, folks. And the Steelers effectively used $70,000 of 2022 salary cap in tendering him after the roster displacement. So there you have it. But what it doesn't say here is whether or not, I don't know if he was a draft pick. I'm trying to see. I don't know what his tender is. And actually, now that it says exclusive rights tender, now I'm trying to figure out, does it even work the same way? So y'all know what I do when I'm not 100% sure. I told you I don't know all the contract stuff. I'm better with on-field play and personnel. Do you guys know exactly what that means? Because if I'm not mistaken, there's different types of tenders. You can do original round tender. There's the exclusive rights tender. So can you guys tell me, and I'll look in the chat, can any one of you guys explain to me how the J.C. Heisenhauer tender works? Again, it is called an exclusive rights tender. Now, I don't know. Again, it's not saying here in the article whether or not, I don't remember if he was drafted or not. Let me see. But like I said, I'm going to refer to you guys. Maybe you guys can shed some light. Somebody help me out. Somebody help me out. Let me help me out. Help me out. Help me out. Maybe y'all don't know either. But I'll wait a few minutes to see if y'all will chime in as I'm looking at the article here. It says Heisenhauer should sign in fairly quickly and then going to go compete for a roster. Okay, so he has to sign it. We can match. Okay, so it pretty much works like the one that we have on Dwayne Haskins. We can match or they give us compensation. So I think the difference is Dwayne Haskins obviously has a round tender on his as well. First round, right? So I think that's the difference. I don't think JC was a draft pick. So I think that's what makes the tender a little different. Very similar to the next one I'm going to read here, which this might answer my own question. We've also put a tender on Robert Spillane, and they said it's the lowest tender the possible amount that we could have used, I guess, on him. It would be $2.4 million. But again, him not being a draft pick, I think his tender is going to work very similar to, the way JC's is going to work. Again, guys, I'm not the expert on that. So if any of you guys know a little more about that, please shed light on that. Joy Weaver, you asked what the countdown was for. That's for the show. Especially with it being in the off season. And again, I have family obligations and things like that. I try to keep the show to an hour. And even if we go over a little bit, it's very little. So that's what that countdown is for. It helps me speed through these topics and then try to leave the bulk of the show remaining for you guys to call in. Oh man, round of applause to Football Mind 02. Really appreciate you. Always appreciate your comments. Let's give you the round of applause. It's funny because what you said here is kind of where I was going to go, giving you your props. You said, just wanted to donate, been a part of your channel for 3 years and never donated. Appreciate what you do. Sorry, I've been away for a bit. Hey, man, first of all, never apologize. You go and come for various reasons. I don't take it no kind of way. I don't be checking to see who's clocking in. I know we all got life. Hey, maybe sometimes you get tired of hearing me. So I'm open to all of that. And as far as you donating, man, listen, I really appreciate that. You guys know how I feel about the donations. It's never something that you guys have to do. So the fact that you all do it, I'm very humbled by that. You know what I mean? Because I don't expect anything. So if you guys feel to the where you want to donate, that always leaves a special place in my humbleness, more so than the monetary gain. You understand what I'm saying? So I appreciate you for that. And what I was going to say too is always appreciate your comments, man. Sometimes we have good debate. Like, you don't always agree with a point that's made in the chat. You might not always agree with a point that I make. We will go back and forth on certain things. I love that. That's the culture I'm trying to develop here. We can all debate. We can have our opinions. We all keep it respectful. And I love that, man. So thank you. Thank you for being who you've been. Really appreciate that. So there you have it, guys, as far as the tenders. Now, as far as the re-signed players so far, we re-signed Miles Killebrew. I have no complaints. If you guys really were watching the games last year, Miles Killebrew was doing some things for us on special teams. He was a special teams demon. I have no problem with that. The Steelers always identify one or two of those guys, and they stick with them. A Jordan Dangerfield, if you will. These type of dudes. There's always guys like that make their hay on special teams. And even Killebrew came in and had a few snaps on defense. But I love what Killebrew. You recall, Killebrew blocked, if I'm not mistaken, 2 punts last season. I think he was responsible for both of those. So I have zero complaint with that. Congratulations, Steelers. That's a great signing. Again, some people might not look at that as a huge signing, but it is. You gotta have effective players, productive players at every level of the football field. Offense, defense, special teams. Montrevius Adams. Y'all heard me talking about that all year. Not all year, but since we acquired him. I kept saying, look, man, I like to have this guy come back and be a rotational piece or just be a depth piece, because I'm not even going to call him a backup. I think we're going to see some serious rotation between him and Tyson. If you guys, in case you don't know, Alu has already said he'll be back. I like that pairing because Adams showed us some things. Adams showed us some cat-like reflexes. He's quick. He could get to the ball. He's fast. I like what Adams did in his short stint with us so far. So that, to me, again, is another quality signing. Arthur Marlette. Excuse me. Listen, some people hate or love Marlette, but what was I saying as we progressed through the season? I said, you know what? He's kind of the Mike Hilton on rundowns. Remember, he kind of developed into that. You guys remember that? As we progressed through the season, we started seeing Marlette have tackles for loss, send him on blitzes. He didn't really get home on blitzes, if I remember. But he started to be a guy that was a lot of times when we had him in the game, there's quite a few games where he had TFLs and quite a few games where he was sticking his face in the fan and being that type of guy, the tackle guy on rundowns. Maybe not so much on, pass downs or, possession downs, if you will. It wasn't necessarily the cover guy, but what it ended up being how we were playing Mike Hilton his last season with us. Remember at one point, Mike Hilton was coming out the game in nickel and Cam Sutton was playing the slot. We would have Hilton in the game a little earlier, as far as first and second down or run downs, if you will. And then times when we wanted to blitz off the edge, we'd have Hilton in the game. But when we went pure coverage, remember how we started taking Hilton out the game some? And a lot of us were saying that Cam Sutton was the better cover guy in those situations. Well, that's essentially what happened last season. Marlette became the Mike Hilton of the rundowns. And I think he did some decent things. And again, we're talking about depth because let's not forget, a guy like Trey Norwood is probably going to compete again for a nickel spot. Norwood is going to compete to be on the field a little more probably than he was in the dime. We shall see. And then there's a free agent we just acquired that could be put somewhere as well. So either way, I'm not upset at all with the Marlette signing. Again, I think he's a decent piece in terms of depth. And if, a rotational guy that you might want to use on rundowns and things like that, I'm not mad at that. It doesn't seem like they've spent a whole lot of money on any of these guys, except for the last one. Chukwuma Okorafor. Round of applause to Chooks, man. Round of applause to Chooks. Chooks got paid. And relatively low if you look around the league. And again, let me say this to you guys as fans because a lot of times this tends to escape a lot of us as fans. Some people focus a lot on, what guys are being paid and you're upset and you're saying that, oh, this guy doesn't deserve this. And you got to look at the market value. Regardless of how you feel about Chooks, look at the market value and look at his rating. He kind of got paid where he should have gotten paid for a starting right tackle. Remember, I kept saying, y'all remember, it's funny the evolution and the ebb and flows that I have throughout the season, and I love that about watching our team. Remember I was getting on Chooks so much early in the season? Oh, man, oh, he did this, oh, he did that. And then what started happening, he started playing better. For you guys who are extended family members and you guys that, were privy to the behind the scenes content, if you will, when I started showing the All-22, y'all would remember. Some of y'all are in the chat tonight. You guys would remember when I was breaking down the film and I was like, look, Chooks is actually playing pretty well. Chooks ended up playing very well later in the season. Now, it's hard to say that they played very well as a collective, as an O-line, but we started seeing that it really wasn't Chooks. Not all the time. Listen, every lineman gets beat from time to time, but I think if you really watch the games, throughout the duration of the season, he started to play better. I didn't have as much problem with him. The biggest problems that we had were Kendrick Green and Trey Turner. Those was our weak links. Those were our weakest links. And then Dotson goes down, and then, we throwing in LeGlue and Finney and all these other guys. But our weakest links were Trey Turner, Kendrick Green. Dan Moore didn't play half bad. I think a lot of us said that after quite a few games. He held himself up pretty well against some stiff competition. Got beat as well. He's a rookie. 4th round pick, I might add. But we all felt like Dan Moore probably got something in the tank, man, and we think that he might develop into something. So, bottom line, I don't think there was a reach on Chooks. You may not agree with paying him. You may have preferred the Steelers to go in another direction as far as a tackle. I'm not going to argue with that because, again, that's all opinion. Excuse me. But what I'm saying is, based off of his totality of the season, sacks given up or not, and all of that stuff, you look at how he performed, you match that up with other right tackles in the league, he actually got paid what he probably should have gotten paid, and the Steelers actually got him for a little less than market value. And the Steelers, so far, I don't know if y'all are paying attention, boy, they doing some wizardry with some masterful structuring of these contracts. Because even though it sounds like a lot of money, it's still, all of these contracts so far are team friendly. So I believe that's Omar Khan who's responsible for cap. Round of applause to you, son. So there you go. That's all I got as far as that. Chooks got his bread, man. And hopefully he continues to grow. That dude he's an athletic freak in terms of his body style and, his size. And hopefully he will turn into being a more dominant, where we can say he's earning his money. And if not, you move on. Now, let us get to, before I get to free agent signings, it's being reported that Juju Smith-Schuster is being looked at quite a few teams. Chiefs, Bears, forgot who else I saw, but it looks like more and more likely that Juju is probably not going to return. It's also looking more likely that Joe Hayden will not return. And again, I said that at the end of the season, thank you, Joe Hayden, for what you've been to us, not only just on the field, but the teammate that you've been. They look up to you. You've been a leader. A secondary seemed to play more cohesive when he's out there. But we all know Joe Hayden is not a guy that can run anymore. We've seen it. We've seen the ball go over his head too many times. It's just time. Again, if Cousin Floyd is watching this, Floyd will remember that game that we went to some years ago against the Saints. And we sitting there. It was the game that our boy, the Beard, Kiesel got hurt. He tore his trap or something. He tore something. But I remember he came off the game and he was slumped over, and that was the game where he got hurt that final season. But we're sitting there and we're watching the ball just fly over Ike Taylor's head. And me and Floyd looked at each other then and was like, Ike is cooked, man. It's just time. He's cooked. And that's Joe Hayden. That's Joe Hayden. So at the end of the day, he did what he had to do. There you have it. It's time, and it's time to get younger. It's time to get guys that can run, got a little more speed to them. And there you have it. So just putting that out there, you're probably not going to see Juju Smith-Schuster return. Not saying that he won't, but it's just looking less likely that he returns. And as well, Joe Hayden. And also a guy like, Terrell Edmonds. It's been reported that Edmonds, will test free agency. And listen, it is what it is. And if that is the case, then I'm pretty sure the Steelers would be looking for a safety, right? Because right now there is not a safety on the roster that is going to take that spot. So that sounds like you're going to have to draft a guy, or maybe you're going to get busy in free agency once again. So we'll see. We'll see how it all ends up, man. Because listen, a lot of times, sometimes these guys go out there and test the market. The market ain't what they thought. And then they come back to the home team. So we'll see if any of those guys wind up back in Pittsburgh or if they sign elsewhere, and y'all know my motto, I wish them all well. I think Juju is a good guy, good kid, man, and I wish him nothing but success if he's not with us. All right, so let's get to the free agent signings, and I told you we had a 4 and a possible. The possible is Ahkello Witherspoon. Ahkello Witherspoon is supposedly close to re-signing with the Steelers. We'll have to wait and see. Maybe he wants to test the market. Maybe he's visiting other teams right now. You know, again, free agency officially starts tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. I would like for us to get Ahkello back. I definitely would. I also believe that the Steelers know something, because if you guys already know that we've definitely signed a corner. So I feel like the Steelers have some information. They have some insight either on knowing that Joe Hayden will not be back, or maybe they don't know if Ahkello is going to be signed. But either way, the Steelers have already made a move. They have struck a deal with Levi Wallace, cornerback out of Buffalo. Some of you guys may be familiar with him. If I remember correctly, y'all know I'm going to check my facts. I think Levi Wallace was he the one that wore number 39? I think. Yep, I was right. Fairly young, if I'm not mistaken. I think this kid is like 26 years old. Let me confirm that. And I'm going to watch some more film on him. Yep, he is 26 years old. So I'm going to watch a little more film on him. You know, I was telling Cousin Floyd earlier today, I'm familiar with him, but, you know, how much did I watch him? I mean, how many Buffalo games did I watch outside of the ones that they played against us? So I'm really going to definitely, you know, dive in. And I look forward to this, you know, kind of learning these guys. They have him listed as 6 feet, 179 pounds. I believe, and guys, help me out in the comments. I don't remember whether he's an outside guy or an inside guy. I really don't. But I'm going to pay attention to that, you know, because maybe he's another guy you could throw his hat, you know, into the race as far as, you know, being another slot. Somebody said he picked off Big Ben. Okay, he's outside. Okay. Yeah, and it's funny. I knew his number and all that. And like I said, I've seen him play. I just didn't quite remember him. And yeah, there you have it. Not yet, Debbie. Hey, and by the way, hello, Miss Debbie. I appreciate you being here. Man. Thank you. Guys, I'm looking at my timer here. We're already at 31 minutes, so I'm going to try to get through this at least in 10 minutes. I definitely want to save at least a full 20 minutes for you guys to call. So let me try to get through the rest of these guys. So there's Levi Wallace. Also, we have signed Mason Cole, who was a center from the Vikings. So that's another guy you can go check out. I got to do my due diligence and go watch these guys. And let me say this about Mason Cole. Quite a few highlight watchers out there on the internet. And let me say this. Here's what's funny. I saw a lot of people commenting on a clip that Dave Bryant put on Twitter. Shout outs to my good buddy Dave Bryant from Steelers Depot. He put up a clip of Mason Cole going against Kenny Clark. Got beat, got whipped, right? But the funny thing is the people who were commenting were acting as if that's all that Dave is going to look at, or that's all that Alex is going to look like. You guys know the work they do. They're going to extensively study these guys. He was just basically showing you a clip. But some people in the comments made it seem like they knew all about this dude just off of that one clip. Oh, he's a bad signing. I'm like, really? Kenny Clark was going crazy on a lot of people last year. What about some of the tackles that TJ Watt beat? Are they all bad tackles? Or is TJ Watt just a bad boy? My point being, you cannot judge somebody just off of them getting beat. You got to look at some film and see how they play for the duration of the game or the season. Then you give your assessment. Everything I've heard about Mason Cole, I talked to a couple guys I know from the Vikings. They say he's a solid player. He's versatile. He's going to probably play center for us. He can play guard also. Let me go see for myself. But I'm not going to make a judgment off of a clip that a very respectable unit posted. That's the funny thing. People were commenting as if that's what Dave Bryan was saying. No, you know that's not what he was saying. He was just showing you a clip. Those guys are very thorough in what they do. So I just thought that to be so hilarious that people were piling on to that. I don't know, man. Y'all not going to tell me that y'all know that much about every player in the NFL that as soon as his name is said, oh, that's a bad pick. Oh, come on, man. Some of us fans got to cut it out. But the big one, guys, the splash. And this is why I put it in the title. James Daniels. Man, that's a splash. This kid is nice. I have seen quite a few games from the Bears, so I'm very familiar with him. But I am going to go back and watch a couple games to just hone in on him. But this was the one. Rated very high in his position. He's going to play right guard more than likely. This, to me, was huge. To get a guy of that caliber. Oh, funny thing, speaking of Steelers Depot, this was the guy that Alex Kozora just said that was on his wish list for free agency. And look what we did. This was major. Because this alters the draft, folks. Yes. I think this alters the draft significantly. We went 2 veteran offensive linemen that have some pedigree to them, one having outstanding pedigree, and he's young. This dude is like 24. And I think the Cole kid is like 25, 26. Y'all know I don't like to have my facts, at least close to realistic. It's the internet, I'm a French model. It's the internet. You never know if it's correct or not. But let me just check my statistics here, man. My internet statistics. Look, this kid is 25. He's going to be 26 on the 28th of this month. Speaking of Mason Cole. And James Daniels, I believe, is only like 20. Let me see. I believe this dude is only like 24. 24 years old. He won't turn 25 until September. Steelers are going young, baby. They going young, and they're adding some quality guys in free agency. We have not seen this for years. I'm loving what I'm seeing so far. And again, I can't say it's a hit or a bust until I know a little bit more about these players. Last but not least, Mitch Trubisky. Some of y'all had long faces. Some of y'all was heated. But let me tell you something. Y'all see this? Y'all see this right here? I'm actually drinking the Steelers Kool-Aid. Picture this. Let me roll all this into one because I want to be done before 20 minutes so I can give you guys a decent amount of time for calls. I see a play happening here. Kevin Colbert said that he will not retire until, he doesn't want to retire until he has found the next franchise quarterback. Who knows if that'll be this year? But look at what they're doing. Mitch Trubisky is not the franchise quarterback, which is the reason why I don't understand why some of you guys are bugging out. Let me tell you a couple things that was never going to happen. Russell Wilson, that wasn't going to happen. Aaron Rodgers, that wasn't going to happen. You see the money he got? Did you see what the Packers paid a guy who's going to be 42 at the end of that contract? Did you see what the Seahawks gave away? Well, excuse me, not the Seahawks, the Broncos. You see what the Broncos gave up to acquire Russell Wilson? Do you think the Steelers were going to do that? No. Deshaun Watson, anyone? Great. So glad. Round of applause to Deshaun Watson. A little round of applause. A mini one, because I don't know the facts. But I'm glad to see that as of now, there's no criminal charges going to happen. I'm glad to see that. Allegations are just allegations. But like I said, a mini applause because I don't know the facts. That ain't gonna happen either, folks. Check his contract. Steelers ain't taking that on. It's just, listen, now if they pulled a surprise out and did it, we would all be like, whoa, I didn't expect them to do that. But I don't know why any of y'all really thought that was gonna happen. What have I been saying about Jimmy Garoppolo? Unless he gets released, Steelers ain't trading for him either. $26 million cap hit, come on, man. It don't make sense. Not in a year that you have money and you have holes to fill. Clearly, they just showed you what was more important. Look at all these holes they have filled so far. So what do? You go get a bridge gap guy in Mitch Trubisky. And listen, I was poo-pooing on that idea as well until I took a step back. And I went back and I looked at some of the good things he actually did in his career at Chicago. Not as bad as what some people would think. Wasn't the greatest quarterback, but Mitch Trubisky showed a lot of mobility. He even showed some moments where he dropped the ball right in the breadbasket. Showed some moments where he would take shots downfield. All I'm saying is this. Mitch Trubisky definitely fits what Canada wants to do and might be good at it. RPO, anybody? 2-year deal. You know what that says to me? The Steelers might very well, hear this. I think the Steelers are gearing up for trading up to get Malik Willis. I'm saying that now. I won't saying that last week, but seeing some of these moves they have made, 2 offensive linemen, cornerback, quarterback, I think the Steelers could very well trade up if they want to. Again, just yesterday I told you they weren't going to reach. This was before we saw all of these signings. This was when we only saw Mitch Trubisky. And I still don't think they will reach, but I think it's possible now. Everything's on the table now. You could give some of that draft capital away now. Or maybe you go for a Nakobe Dean or one of these dudes, one of the top tier receivers, safety. I'm just saying, everything's on the table now. But I would not be surprised if the Steelers didn't pull a fast one and they trade up to get a Malik Willis that they keep reporting on and allow him to sit behind Mitch Trubisky. Because you know what you can do with both of those quarterbacks? You can teach the same offense. The Steelers are not stupid people. I don't know why we think we know more than a football organization of professionals that scout and they do GM work. There's a reason why they got Mitch Trubisky. Maybe he's not the guy you wanted, but the pool really wasn't that big anyway. Tomlin kept saying he wanted a mobile quarterback and he would prefer for a rookie to not be the starter in 2022. Here you go. And what if Mitch Trubisky is able to run Matt Canada's offense effectively now with 2 bigger and beefier offensive linemen? I'm sure Najee Harris is pretty happy by what he's seeing right now. But let me get to the calls, man, because I want to give you guys your time. But y'all got to keep in mind, short. Say your beef, say your points, get in, get out. Let's get some calls going. First one in the queue is area code 214. What you got for us?
Hey, Sam, this is Brent Park. I'm calling as promised, sir.
What's going on, man?
Oh, brother. Okay. I promise I will be brief as I can, okay? You covered most of these anyway. So, I was actually excited about the signing of James Daniel. I felt good about that. Now, about this Mitchell Trubisky thing, I hope I'm wrong. I sincerely hope I'm wrong. But in the spirit of being unrealistic here, why couldn't we have at least reported an offer or something to Deshaun Watson or even Jameis Winston? I understand that there's a certain system that's set up now that we've had to retain Canada or whatever. By the way, I'm going to do a South Park reference and blame Canada. I do not like that we had to keep him. If you're an offensive coordinator, you're supposed to be able to adjust your scheme to your personnel. If you're failing to do that, then you may not, it might not be the job for you. That's all I'm saying. But I do appreciate your time, Sim. I'll let you get the other calls, brother.
Man, Brent, I appreciate your call as well, definitely. And I appreciate everyone's perspective. Again, guys, we all see this thing differently. Brent just said he would prefer Jameis Winston. And again, y'all know I'm not going to poo-poo on Jameis Winston. He came from the nose, baby. I'm always rep the nose. But is Jameis Winston that much of a better option than Mitch Trubisky? If we are to believe that they want a mobile quarterback, I could understand. That's what I'm hanging it on. It makes me really believe that that's exactly what they wanted, was a mobile guy. And who were the guys in free agency that can pull that off? It probably was going to be your Trubisky. It probably was going to be your Mariota, or maybe Jacoby Brissett. So I got to believe that they went with a guy that they feel can do that for them right now. And there you go. Joe Mannix is saying Mariota is better than Trubisky. These are all perspectives, man. I mean, both of those guys were backups. So if that adds any perspective to it, I'm just saying. Let's move on, guys, because I don't want to take you guys' time. Area code 803, Mr. Winningham. What you got for us?
Good evening. Good evening. Like I said before, when we started mentioning quarterbacks, Mitchell Trubisky had fit the ideal skill set of what that ownership and Mike Tomlin had spoke of. He has a chance to do very well because we're only paying him $7 million for 2 years, but if he excels, he doubles his money up. So that's a lot of incentive for him to perform this year. The second, look, I've been a Steelers fan a long time, and ever since free agency, we've always been poached. Now we're the ones who picking these excellent signings, and what I want to everybody know, most of these signings are 2 years. So we have very little if these people don't work out. We can get in and get out of the contract maybe after this year, depending on how the dead money works out. And these guys are young. We talk about Chuksa Okorafor. He's only 24. He'll be 25 August. I checked it out today, August 8th. But thank you so much. And this changes up the draft. In many ways. Mm-hmm. We need a wide receiver. I would love to get a Nakobe Dean. We might get the kid from Cincinnati in the second round. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week.
Man, thank you, Mr. Winningham. Appreciate that. And guys, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to keep it very short in my replies. 7 calls just popped in the queue. Y'all know we got to fast. So let me just quick hits. I'm not even going to really reply to them. If it's something I have to say, sure, but it's more for your voices to be heard. Next up is area code 973. What you got for us?
Hey, good evening, Sim. How the brother?
Good. What's going on?
Look, I got 3 quick things for y'all. First, I seen Levi Wallace put on the cornerback from Buffalo. He's a roll tie. He came from Alabama. He was a walk-on free agent. He played with Minka. I would like to get a Killer Witherspoon, but this is my thing for you, brother. If picture general manager hat on, if Malik Willis is there at 20 when we pick, would you take Malik Willis or them boys from Georgia, number 99 and that's another one, 95, because Cam is getting a little old in the tooth. Tyson Alalo is getting old, and we don't know the situation with Stephon Tuitt. So what would you do? I just want to know your opinion. Because them boys from Georgia, man, they will help our run defense. I just want to know your opinion. You have a good night, brother.
Man, that's a tough one, but I'll answer it. Some of y'all might hate this. If Malik is there at 20, I might go with one of them Georgia boys. Only reason why I say that is at that point, you got to go best player available. Unless I know for sure Malik Willis is my guy. If he falls to 20, maybe I draft one of those other guys later. Or maybe I sit tight and wait till next year. Because if one of them boys from Georgia is sitting there, yeah, you might want to do that. Only hesitation would be is I don't know if I would go D tackle that early. That's the only hesitation. But I might. So yeah, I might pull a fast one and go defense at that spot. Now that we kind of have a bridge gap quarterback. Next up, area code 859. What you got for us?
What's up, Sim? This is Carmichael, straight out of Cincinnati. And I just wanted to say the Mitch pickup was pretty decent, you know what I mean? Because he's going to be scheme dependent, and seeing what he do and what he has done, the RPOs, the play action bootleg, that's all the stuff Canada want to run. And Mitch looked like he pretty good at running it. So I'm not going to hate on it. And if that's going to be the stopgap until we can get somebody from a draft that's like more stocky and more sexier with quarterback picks, then that's what I'd rather do anyway, and just let Mitch ball it out. And if he don't, then we just even better position to get somebody that's better, you know what I mean? But that's all I wanted to say. I know you got a bunch of calls, but thanks for giving me a voice. Peace.
Man, perfect call. I don't disagree with anything there. That's all it is. Bridge gap, a guy that seems like he can run the offense that your coordinator wants to run. That's simple. Very affordable deal. While you wait to get your franchise QB. That's it. I fully agree. Let's move on. Area code 334, what you got for us?
All right, how you doing tonight, Sim?
Good. What's going on?
I agree with the last caller. What y'all saying about signing the two quarterbacks. I'm not really disappointed in not getting his name. Houston, but
334, I'm gonna have to come back to you. We couldn't hear you. It sounded like you was really far away, but I'll save you for last. I'll come right back to you. Man, we still got 6 of these things in the queue, guys. Let's get them in, get them out. 937-582. What you got for us?
What's happening, bro? Look,
what's going on?
I just, I'm just tripping off of how everybody just speaking like this dude is the incumbent starter. The general manager already said we was getting a free agent quarterback and we're gonna get a quarterback in the draft. So if Malik Willis or anybody of quality is at that pick at 20, we picking a quarterback. That's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's because that's what they said they were going to do, and so far that's what they have done. You know what I'm saying? I like the fact that they're addressing the offensive line. You know what I'm saying? They're getting aggressive doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because once you shore up that offensive line, you can pretty much put a serviceable quarterback back there. With this Hall of Fame defense they seem to be putting together, we might be making some, kind of serious run. Since you got so many callers, 937 dating out.
Appreciate that, 937. And guys, I'm gonna make a promise to you all, man. The next time we get calls in, I'm gonna try to give you guys way more time. I gotta, do better with my balancing of time. But next week we might be doing a still table. I'm gonna check with Kenyon and Tony because I think it's time for one after a full week of free agency. And then the following week, the ladies of SteelerNation may be doing their still table. That's to be determined, but I think the 29th might be the date that it happens. Let's move on, guys. Area code 202, what you got for us?
Hey, what's up? Excited to be here. I'll speak quickly. I've been enjoying the conversation. And I'm saying this as a spoiled fan. I'm 25, 18 years of my life, I've had Ben Roethlisberger as a quarterback. I'm not optimistic about Mitchell Trubisky, but in the hope that, he is a bridge or that we do draft a quarterback, I will try to be optimistic. I'm excited about the potential of Louis Riddick coming in, or any new GM. I'm tired of Kevin Colbert. I don't think he makes any splashes in free agency. And I'd really like to see us get some strength on defense. As mentioned, our run game or the run defense has struggled, and so I hope to make improvements there. But I'm still riding with the Steelers till the end, so excited for this upseason.
Man, 202. Love that call. I really appreciate your call and your points. And that's fair what you said, man. Ben Roethlisberger has been the quarterback for 18 seasons. That's, again, depending on people's age. You know, if somebody's 27, you know, even maybe a little bit older, they might not have been into football until they was like 13. So if you like 30, that's all you know is Ben Roethlisberger. So I'm not mad at that. And like you said, we're spoiled. I'm not mad at that. So we're going to be very critical and crucial to any quarterback that comes through here. But yeah, man, you know, this is where we at right now. This is part of the rebuild, folks. So like my man said there, I'm going to end it the same way he did. I'm riding with the Steelers, man. It is what it is. We're going to have ups. We're going to have downs. 651, what you got for us?
What's up with you, Sam?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. I'm gonna make it quick, but I don't know why anybody's surprised by what we did. Like, we always show up the rest of the team so that we won't have to force a pick. We're gonna make sure that you can't tell where we're going first, second, third, or you can't tell. Now, just because this year is a little different because we're missing a quarterback doesn't make the scheme different. We're gonna always pick a person to fill up those holes so that you can't tell what we're doing. Yeah. I do like the Trubisky pick, you know, just to see what happens. But what I think also happens is with all these trades for quarterbacks and movement, it's pushed those quarterbacks in the draft further back. I think so.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, I disagree with the Colbert remark right before this because I don't think he's boring. I just think he doesn't gamble. He just never gambles. He sees what he wants. He sees what this will work with the system, and he sticks with it. That's all I got, man. Thanks.
Man, 651, that's a good point, and I'm glad you said that to remind me of it. That's the only thing, I might not agree with that either, that 202 said. Shout outs to you, 202. I wouldn't say that Kevin Colbert never, because even right now, in the midst of what's happening yesterday and today, that James Daniel is a splash. It could very well be. You got to remember, guys, Ben Roethlisberger has been a $100 million quarterback for what? I'm just estimating here. 14 years of his career, 13 at least. We ain't had no bread. Y'all always got to keep that in mind. So, and even when he signed homeboy that played decent for us his first season, what's my man's name? The corner. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Nelson. That was a pretty splash signing. Steelers didn't normally do nothing like that. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's just Colbert's way. I think Colbert him and Omar Khan have been, Omar Khan. I think those guys have just been able to work with the cap that they've been allotted to work with. So, yeah. Next up, area code 813. What you got for us?
Yeah, so what do you think about us maybe going after a Miles Jack or a Bobby Wagner? And do you think we would have the cap space to pull it off?
Let me see. And thank you for the call, 813. You kind of answered it for me right there. That's going to be the question. The Bobby Wagner, I think, is going to outprice us a little bit. I know it's hard for me to say if we stick to tradition because the Steelers have broken some of their traditions over the last 4 years or so. But they normally don't go heavy with elder statesmen as far as defense. They usually don't do 30 and above and spend money on them. And I think Wagner, his play is probably going to demand a little bit. And I don't know if they want to spend that much for an inside backer. However, let's keep our eyes on what happens with Joe Schobert. Looks like so far, and again, it's just getting started, but it looks like so far, Joe Schobert might be retained. And if he is, then we ain't spending a whole lot of money on another inside linebacker. because his contract is a hefty load. And they're going to give Devin Bush at least this last season. So I think that's going to put the clamps on Wagner a little bit. Miles Jack, I don't know if he's going to be too expensive, so I could possibly see something like that happening. But yeah, definitely thank you for the call, man. Really appreciate that. 2 more guys. We got 937 and then we got area code 804. Y'all know I got to answer that one. Those that know. I'm answering the 804. 937, what you got for us?
937 in the house. Johnny, what's up, Sam? What's up, SteelerNation?
What's going on?
Man. I just want everybody to just relax and take it easy, man. This Mitch guy may not be that bad. With our system and with our program, and you know what I'm saying? So, that's how I look at it, man. Give you a quick example. I know I got to get off of here. But Marshall Faulk was with the Indianapolis Colts. He was good. When he went to the Rams, he became great. When Jerome Bettis was with the Rams, he was good. Then we snatched him up and made him a legend. So you never know how it can go, man. Let's give the guy a chance. I know our SteelerNation, for the most part, is not very happy. But you never know, man. This guy may be able to get it done. We managed, run that ball with now. I got 10-7 next season, man. And then last but not least, question for you. Do you think he'll beat out Mason Rudolph? And I'm out, my brother. Peace and love, y'all.
Johnny, man, appreciate you calling, man. You're becoming one of those callers. We have our favorites, and you're definitely ranking right on up there, man. Appreciate you, Johnny. That's a good question too. I'm glad you said it. Do we know that Mason Rudolph still won't end up being the guy? That's what makes this thing interesting. I would say, gut feeling, I would say Trubisky was signed because of where we're trying to go offensively. So in that regard, I think Trubisky is probably going to be the starter. Also, looking at the contract, I mean, man, you're paying him more than what Rudolph is making. I really seriously hope we ain't doing that for a would-be backup. However, I understand the quarterback market. So, maybe the market dictates that. And it's not like we're paying them, throwing the bank at them. But I think if somebody said it earlier, and I think we all talked about this earlier in the season, looking at some of the stuff that Canada was trying to infuse, play action, bootleg, RPO, that's going to be Mitch Trubisky, perhaps maybe better than Mason Rudolph can do. But we'll see. Excuse me. I'm not going to count out the reindeer. We'll see. But as it stands now, I think Trubisky is the guy. And again, they might draft a kid, man. And it's just going to be competition in there. And I'm cool with that. So there you have it. All right, last but not least, 804 in the building. Got to take that call. What you got for us?
How you doing?
What's going on?
This whole Mitchell Trubisky thing, man, I don't have a problem with it. At first, I did, and I was trying to convince myself to be optimistic, and then I started seeing all the other moves with going after the Mason Cole guy from the Vikings, and then going after James Daniel from the Bears, and just, seeing that they're actually doing what we wanted them to do. It's just not what everybody wanted, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that
makes perfect sense.
We have a chance. I think we have a chance to really steamroll this thing if we just make the proper moves. One thing that I was saying, I'll get out of here. I really would like to see the Steelers go after Tyrann Mathieu. I feel like that would be a huge upgrade from Terrell Edmonds, and that's no diss to Terrell Edmonds. It's just the honey badger, man. He's a different guy, man. But,
yeah.
That's all I got. I appreciate you, man.
Man, appreciate you, 804, representing VA, Cap City. Always going to show love to that. Most of you guys know that's my hometown, Richmond, Virginia, man. I've been in Pennsylvania several years, but born and raised in Richmond, Virginia. VA for life. And look at that. Look at the timer. Look at this. 2 seconds. Bam. How we do that? I don't know how we did that. But y'all know I'm going to give y'all time in the chat. So we'll stay here about another 5 minutes. Again, the timer is really just to help me keep things in order and to shorten the show, man, so I can spend a little more time with wife and kid. So let's get to it, man. Let's read a few comments. And I did want to shout you guys out, man. I just happened to look at the chat here on my phone, and we got quite a few viewers in here tonight. So, man, y'all are showing up tonight. Y'all are showing up. James Hayes, you say you went to VCU. That's what's up, man. I spent many days on VCU's campus. I actually took some courses there for a semester when I was still living in Richmond. But yeah, man, VA. But all right, guys, let's read some chats. And again, thank y'all, man. Y'all in here tonight. Thank y'all for the viewership. I see quite a few new subs are coming in. So thank you all. I didn't catch all of the names, but y'all know who you are. If you subscribe tonight, if you're new to the channel, I appreciate you. Obviously, what we're talking about, what I'm talking about here, has your attention. So I definitely thank you for that. And hopefully I can keep your subscription. All right, so what we got here? Throw some things at me, man. Throw me you guys' feelings for you guys who didn't call in. What are your real feelings, man, about Mitch Trubisky? What do y'all think? Round of applause to Sean Manahan, another donation. Yes. He says 300 viewers less than 100 likes. Hit that like button. Absolutely. If you like the content, hit the like button. You guys have no idea how much that helps me. And also, if you dislike it, hit the dislike button. That helps too. But share your feelings, man. Boss Uno says he likes him. Virgin, I can't never pronounce that name. He says he can run. Irvin says mild, decent. Who else we got here? Dr. Dre says he's a Pro Bowler in the right situation. Okay. Joe Manick says Trubisky's last chance. I believe that. Shannon says he believes he will step it up. Bettsburg says just saw that Watson is meeting with Cleveland. Man, that would be a tough division if he went to Cleveland. It would. But again, taking all of our emotion aside, man, we knew the Steelers weren't going to do that. That was just going to be too costly, draft capital wise and cap wise, to get a Deshaun Watson. I'm almost certain that the Steelers at least raised the eyebrow at the opportunity. But I can take these off now with no more calls. But they just weren't going to do it from a financial standpoint. And I will say this. Let's keep our eyes open and see if Watson gets traded somewhere, what the compensation is. And again, we already know his contract. So that was going to be a tough sell anyway for the Steelers. Henry Manuel says he's solid for the system we run. Makes sense business-wise. It does. You guys have to remember, it's only 2 years. And that doesn't even mean he's going to play all, both 2 years. Both 2 years. Both of those years. You know what I'm saying? So we got to see, man. We got to see. Eric McDuffie says, I agree that he's a stopgap. Very smart move by the Steelers. Open up all draft possibilities. Yes, Eric. I was almost going to title this video, the Steelers are putting themselves in position to do what they want in the draft. Right now, they're sitting at best player available. They're sitting with an opportunity to go get Malik Willis if that's really, and again, I'm just going off of sources, rumors. If that's really the case, they putting themselves in position where they might go up and get him. But the free agent acquisitions up until today is allowing them to do that. This draft is wide open. It's wide open now. And I cannot wait to see how it turns out. My man Real Fact says, this Mitch signing shows us how much the quarterback being mobile is necessary for the Canada system, because I definitely think there were guys in free agency who were better passers. That is a great comment. I'm going to actually give you a round of applause on that one, Real Facts. Jersey Boy said, you drinking the Kool-Aid too? Look, I told my wife I was going to use this cup on purpose. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. Still is Kool-Aid. But listen, that is a great point, man. And I kind of said that earlier in the show. This shows you that all that stuff that Tomlin was saying about he wants a mobile guy, bada boom, bada bing. And again, if he's taking his pick out of who's in the free agency pool and they sign Trubisky, clearly that mobile thing means something, which again is a reason why I could be, probably believe that Malik Willis is the one that they prefer out of these guys. Maybe Corral. Is it Matt Corral or Matt Corral? Do one of you guys know? Is it Corral or Corral? How do you say that kid's name? And by the way, this isn't actually Kool-Aid. It's a tea with a little lemonade mixed to it. A couple different lemonades in there. But yeah. This is interesting, man. This is interesting. Corral. Okay, Corral. All right, thank you, OMG, for saying that. Somebody else said that. Corral. Okay. So I think, in my opinion, it's those two guys. I know me and somebody else talked about Ritter too. I think Ritter is a fallback option in a later round. But I think based off of this pick, now we can rule out a couple guys, in my opinion. I like Kenny Pickett, but I don't think Kenny Pickett gives you that element per se. Will he take off and run? Yeah, but I don't know. I don't have the same level of excitement for him running. I told you guys Sam Howell will run that thing too, but I'm concerned with Sam Howell not being his run style. To me, he's like he runs as if he's Josh Allen's size. That's how he runs. There ain't no whole lot of finesse with his running. He runs hard, like he's a hard dude, put the shoulder down, like he runs like he's Josh Allen. He don't have that finesse run. He got more of that power, brute run, brute strength type of run. And I don't know if that translates in the NFL at his size. It could, but I don't know. I thought I saw another donation pop up on the screen, man. Am I tripping? I thought I saw something that said Jay Hall. Jay Hall, I swear it was a donation. Maybe it was a subscribe. But whatever it was, thank you for whatever it was. But it kind of disappeared there on me. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking, man. I'm thinking it's Steelers are in prime position, man. And like I said, we'll talk more about it. And I know Kenyon is available. Hopefully Tony is available too. If you guys want to do the still table discussion, so it's more than just me talking. We'll really talk a little more about the way we think the draft could be shaping up. Because again, we don't know that the Steelers are done in free agency. I keep seeing these rumors. I just saw it on Twitter. Terrence Garvin, I think it was saying, are the Steelers interested in the Badger? Man, if somehow they land Tyrann Mathieu, man, let me tell you. If the Steelers are somehow in the mix for a guy like the Honey Badger, yeah, okay. But here's another thing that you guys got to consider. We got to try to get Minka done too. So we got to see if we can get Minka extended. And, money-wise, I think they can make that work, even if we sign somebody else, because you're doing an extension and you can do some things with that to kind of finagle the cap. But, man, if we was to get the Honey Badger. And, yes, we definitely need a receiver too. So there's still some ways and areas that we could go in the draft. This excites me. I'm not even going to front. This excites me. Because, again, in 18 years, I haven't seen nothing like this, where the Steelers have money to spend and they have a huge need that is a question mark, quarterback, and there's things that they've already acquired in free agency that allows them to be a little more flexible in the draft. So I'm excited by this. A couple more and then I'm going to get out of here. The Williams says, I hope they use number 20 pick on Jordan Davis. We definitely need a run stopper. Next year may be a better year for QB. We need to get our defense nasty. I cannot disagree with that at all. The Williams, Tina Williams. I'm reading that as the. Must be blind. Tina Williams. And first of all, female viewer. So thank you, Miss Lady, for coming through. We treat our ladies nice over here. I agree with that. And one of the callers said that. I would not be mad at taking him or one of the other kids at D-Tech, one of those big boys at Georgia. I would not be mad at taking those dudes at 20, given the circumstances now of the guys that we have already acquired in free agency. I'm cool with skipping quarterback this year, just for the record. I'm cool on that. Malik Willis looks like he could turn into a generational talent, but I'm cool with not reaching for any of those dudes. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. You know what I'm saying? So there's no right or wrong there for me. There was one more I wanted to read. Oh, here we go. Brother Mark 1992 says, and the Steelers hired Isaiah Williams as an assistant O-line coach. I saw that. I saw that a little bit before the show. Man, the Steelers making some moves out there, man. They're making some moves out there, and I'm really liking it. Kenya says, Wagner is trending either to Denver or he will go back home to the Chargers or the Rams. Okay, yeah, because I think you told me that he's from the LA area, right? Let's see. Man. Jay Hall, round of applause to you. He just became an extended family member. I really appreciate that. Round of applause. You know what, extended family members, you know what I think I'm going to do? Because I've been asking you guys to give me some ideas for private content. I think now I will share. I think Game Pass should still work. I think I would share. We'll do that. We'll watch some of these free agents. We'll go pick some games and watch these guys play, and we'll give our likes and dislikes. And maybe what I'll do, I'll try to, and I know everybody can't tune in at the same time, I'll try to see if I can schedule some of those as members-only streams so we can kind of talk together. If not, I'll do the pre-recorded, but we'll go through the film. And again, y'all let me know what other content I can provide to you guys. I know it's a little more difficult with the season not being underway, because during the season, what I would do for the extended family members is we would watch the all 22 of the previous week. But now that the season isn't happening, please, guys, shoot me an email, SimFBallCritic@gmail.com. Let me know what type of things you would like to see as your private custom content, whether it's gaming or whatever. Gotta provide a service to you guys. I definitely appreciate y'all paying the small monthly fee, but I need to provide a service to you. It was, like I said, it was great during the season, but now in this period, if you can give me some more ideas of some things to show to you guys, I would greatly appreciate that. Sean Manahan, round of applause, another donation. Sean Manahan putting that bread out there tonight. He says, Cam, Alu, Tuitt, Highsmith, Bush, Jack, Watt, Levi, Minka, Honey Badger. Wishful thinking, but man, I'm gonna tell y'all, if we get the Honey Badger, I'm gonna lose my everlasting mind. I'm telling you right now. Oh, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Miss Debbie, for letting me know it does still work. So maybe we'll do that. And again, it's up to you all, but y'all tell me what y'all want to see. And again, this content is only for those who are actual members of the channel, because of the NFL and all that, I can't monetize that. So I'm not going to waste my time and energy doing videos like this that I can't monetize on. That just doesn't make sense. And I'm being honest and open with you guys. So my alternative to that was, for those who join the channel, they actually pay a monthly fee. I show that video unmonetized. So that way we can enjoy all 22. The NFL doesn't gripe. And it's still worth my time, if you understand that. Again, guys, I'm just being honest. Doing YouTube and all this stuff is time consuming. So, it's not about the money, but at the end of the day, it's a service, So I think you guys understand that. You guess they signed Wallace over Witherspoon. Not necessarily. You got to think about this. Joe Hayden is probably not going to be back, so we need a corner regardless. And it's rumored that Witherspoon is close to re-signing, so we shall see. We shall see. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, guys, because I want to be done before 9 o'clock. I gave you guys extra time tonight. And round of applause to Angie, a.k.a. Baby Steeler, another Miss Lady of the show. Urban Garcia says, what about Carlton Davis? I think Carlton Davis already signed. Yeah, I think he went back to the Bucks. Am I right on that, folks? I think he went back to the Bucks. Yeah, I think he went back with... Oh, we didn't even talk about that. Maybe we'll get to that next week. What do y'all think about Brady coming back? Ain't that crazy? I'm going to tell y'all how crazy our Steeler fans are. I saw Steeler fans saying Brady only came back. He only announced his retirement because Ben announced his. And he was planning to come back all the time. Steeler fans, can I say something to you? Can I? Do y'all really think Tom Brady is concerned about doing anything that Ben Roethlisberger is like? You really think he's in his shadow? Oh no, I've got to announce my retirement because he did. You think it works that way? 7 Super Bowl wins, Thomas Brady. Steeler fans, sometimes we got to get out of the way of our own bias. That's ridiculous. I'm here to say, I know everybody's opinion. That's ridiculous. That Tom Brady announced his retirement because he wanted to take the shine away from Ben Roethlisberger. All along, he knew he was going to come back. Come on, folks. Come on. Boy, we are listen. Talk about drinking the Kool-Aid. Y'all drinking gallons of it, if you believe that. I'm just saying. But all right, y'all, man. Love y'all, man. Y'all know that. I'm going to remind you again, if you haven't already, man, if you enjoyed what you saw here tonight, if this looks interesting to you, you like the culture, you like the environment, subscribe to the channel. And if you like the video, hit the like button. How else can I know that you like the video other than me seeing the likes? It's the only way that I'm going to know it. And last but not least, when you are subscribed, click on that notification bell. If you don't do that, how are you going to know streams are available? All right? So like always, guys, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you guys for coming through. Have a great night. God bless. Stay safe. And I'll catch you soon. And this is free agency week, so any news that perks up this week, I will be jumping on and doing a quick video. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's go Steelers. Maybe we land somebody else important. Wishful thinking. All right, man, I'm gone for real this time. Peace.